Son Goku, the protagonist of Dragon Ball, is not a perfect character. He makes a lot of mistakes and bad decisions throughout the series, although that's often part of what makes him so interesting. Some of those mistakes often feel like side effects of making sure the story continued on. For example, of course Goku cares enough about fighting the androids he wouldn't want to stop them from being built, otherwise there wouldn't be a plot. But there is at least one point in the series where he doesn't get a free ride, where not only does he make a major mistake, but the other characters explain to him why that was a mistake, and crucially, Goku actually realizes why the mistake was the wrong choice in the first place and attempts to make up for it. This moment, Goku's biggest mistake, happens during the Cell games. After Goku selects Gohan to fight Cell in his stead, Gohan initially struggles to get the motivation to fight Cell seriously. And as Cell starts beating up Gohan because of this hesitation, Piccolo attempts to intervene. When Goku explains that their best hope of winning is to believe that once Gohan gets angry, his true power will be unleashed, Piccolo yells at Goku that he's mistaken. Gohan doesn't like to fight the way Goku does. Does he even know about the plan? Did Goku ever discuss it with him? Then he says, "Do you know what Gohan is thinking right now? It's not about getting angry. He's thinking, why won't my father help me when I'm in so much pain? Does he care more about the rules of the tournament than my life? Even if he is as strong as you say he is, he's still a child." I've seen people look at this moment as a confirmation that Goku's mistake was sending his son off to fight, that Gohan never should have been made to fight Cell in the first place because he doesn't like fighting. But I think there's actually a bit more behind the moment than just that. Goku definitely made a mistake during the Cell games, but making Gohan fight Cell wasn't the biggest one. For one, if Piccolo really was saying Gohan never should have been made to fight because he doesn't enjoy it, that'd be pretty rich coming from the guy who kidnapped Gohan back when he was 4 and literally forced him to learn how to fight. Piccolo didn't seem to think that was the wrong choice back then, and even if he had changed since then, it'd be a very odd thing for him to specifically call Goku out for. It'd be practically hypocritical. But I think the true mistake that Goku makes, the thing that Piccolo especially worries about and Goku realizes, is what he says after that. Does he know about your plan? Did you discuss it with him? Goku's biggest mistake in the Cell games was not that he sent Gohan off to fight Cell. It was that he sent Gohan off to fight Cell, hoping his hidden power would awaken, without explaining to Gohan what the plan was in the first place. The reason why this was a mistake was it meant that Gohan had to fight Cell and also attempt to awaken his hidden power without any proper forewarning or time to prepare. It does catch him completely by surprise, and that's part of the reason as to why so much had to happen for him to get stronger and start fighting seriously. As in, his family and friends had to get brutally tortured in front of his eyes before he finally figured out what to do. But if Gohan knew from the very start that he was their backup plan, and his hidden power was their backup plan, he probably could have tried to prepare for it. So if it came down to him, he'd have a better idea over what to do. And if he knew the plan, he'd also have to accept that he'd have to fight and potentially kill Cell, which might have stopped him from hesitating when that moment arose. Goku didn't necessarily need to keep the plan a secret either. When he gets Karin to scout out Cell's power to compare it to his, and Karin says that Cell was probably stronger, Goku isn't fazed at all, implying his plan from the very start of his preparation was that Gohan could take over if Goku couldn't deal with Cell. But at no point does Goku tell Gohan that's the plan. We know this because when Future Trunks asks Gohan about what Goku's plan is, Gohan responds by saying, "All he told me is to look forward to it." That's all Goku told him. And later on, when Gohan is talking to Cell about his hidden power, he says that only at that point is he starting to understand why Goku chose him to fight in the first place. As in, Gohan only figures out why he got chosen to fight Cell after he starts fighting Cell. Those are not the words of somebody who knew ahead of time. Some people might want to defend Goku's actions by saying that perhaps Goku didn't tell Gohan from a place of compassion. That he knew if Gohan knew he'd have to fight in the Cell Games, he'd get anxious about it, and it'd stop him from being able to relax for those last few days. To which I have two responses. First, Gohan's words that Goku told him to look forward to it. Are those the words of someone who's intentionally keeping secrets because he wants to save his son from trauma? If Goku knew telling Gohan about the plan would cause him trauma enough to want to hide it from him, then why would he be telling Gohan to look forward to that fight, that moment where Gohan would potentially have to find out the truth? And second, even if Goku did keep the truth from his son to save him from trauma, it wouldn't necessarily help that situation. Because sending Gohan out to fight unprepared, as opposed to giving him 10 days to mentally prepare for it, would probably give him even more trauma. He'd have to deal with all that stress he would potentially get over those 10 days within one moment. That's almost worse for his state of mind in a way. So if he didn't hide the truth to save his son from trauma, why did Goku not tell Gohan about the plan? Honestly, I think it was because Goku didn't realize that Gohan needed the plan explained to him. Goku assumed that Gohan would immediately understand what he needed to do the moment Goku called out his name, because that's how Goku would act. He was great at going into a battle situation where he didn't necessarily know how to win and instantly adapting. He never had an issue with it, so he thought that Gohan wouldn't either. It's why he gives Cell a senzu. He doesn't think Gohan needs any help. He thinks Gohan can do this all on his own because he's seen how strong he can get, not realizing that Gohan's very personality is so different to Goku that he might not even have the mental will to keep fighting like his father does. And that's what Goku realizes when Piccolo confronts him. It's in those precise words that Goku realizes that he didn't discuss the plan with Gohan. And then Gohan might not know what his plan was. And if that was true, it would cause him a lot of pain and also explain why he wasn't fighting back at full force, as in the exact thing that Goku was now seeing in front of him. That's why, after those words exit Piccolo's mouth, Goku's expression changes from confidence to realization to horror. The horror that he unintentionally sent his son into a situation which he wasn't prepared for, and he's getting hurt because of it. In fact, the situation leads to not only Gohan, but Goku and all of his friends getting hurt when Cell sends out the Cell Juniors to attack them. It's in that moment when all his friends are getting tortured by these creatures that Goku apologizes, saying this wasn't how his plan was supposed to go. His original plan never involved other people getting hurt to trigger Gohan's power, because he assumed that Gohan could trigger it easily without that kind of motivation. Although the funniest thing about the entire situation was that even though Goku unarguably made a mistake, and Piccolo was justified in calling him out for it, Piccolo was also kind of wrong. Piccolo thought that Gohan didn't realize that Goku's plan was for him to get angry to get stronger. But the thing is, Gohan does realize the plan. He explained to Cell that Goku was probably counting on his hidden power that was released when he gets angry to defeat him. And that's exactly why Cell starts attempting to hurt Gohan in the first place. But Piccolo doesn't know this because when that conversation happens, Gohan is speaking so softly that Krillin specifically says that he can't make out what they're saying. And you can assume that applies to Goku and Piccolo as well, even with Piccolo's better hearing. After all, if Piccolo knew Gohan said he needed to get angry, he wouldn't be so shocked to hear Goku explain that's what the plan was. But even though everything up until Gohan's transformation generally works out just how Goku wanted it to, with only the destruction of Android 16 and extra sacrifice, that doesn't mean that Goku was right, or that he didn't make a mistake by not understanding that his son was fundamentally different from him, both power and personality-wise. If he was in the right, he wouldn't be shocked. He wouldn't suddenly want to get a senzu to jump in and help his son. He realizes his mistake at that point and does everything he can to make up for it, including sacrificing his own life. Perhaps that's partially why the anime added an extra line in the speech Goku makes before he dies. I always selfishly did what I wanted. Because Goku's lack of understanding other people did lead to the situation that caused him to have to die in the first place. There aren't many other moments where Goku does acknowledge this, or at least acknowledges it enough that he actually wants to take responsibility for his actions. Perhaps that's why I find him in this moment so interesting in terms of a turning point of his character. A turning point that was actually kind of fitting for his eventual retirement from the story, even if that didn't end up lasting. It wasn't the first mistake he made, with the largest consequences, and it wouldn't be the last, but it was certainly one worth talking about.